is Heather, and today I'm going to be canning some teriyaki chicken. And I watched, what was her name? I just recently found the YouTube channel Wicked Prepared, and she did a teriyaki chicken, and I was like, why didn't I ever think of that? I'll tell you right now, it's not an approved recipe. I don't know if it's approved or unapproved. All I know is I love teriyaki chicken. My husband loves teriyaki chicken. It's an easy grab and go lunch for either one of us. I am making it with soy sauce. Soy sauce is one of those soys that I will eat because I love soy sauce and I don't really love the coconut aminos, and it's not so bad for me. And I have it in no other part of my life. I make my own mayonnaise without soy oil. I don't have anything that has soy oil or any of that highly processed soy stuff. And soy sauce is fermented, so I kind of, and it's probably pasteurized, but I kind of overlook. I'm not super allergic to soy. I just know that it's not really good for me. So when I do eat soy, I eat it with soy sauce periodically. Anyway, so I just made a teriyaki sauce with, and it's not the same teriyaki sauce she used. It's a totally different recipe. I am using chicken thighs like she did, but I made the teriyaki sauce that my family really likes. She used a lot of ginger and sugar in hers, and mine doesn't have hardly any. It's got like 2 tablespoons of sweetener in the whole thing, and I used palm sugar and honey, and it's got soy sauce and sesame oil and sesame seeds, and the ginger that I've got, I cut up these little teeny tiny slices, and I put 1 in each jar. My husband doesn't like ginger a whole lot. I'm okay with it. He would rather not have ginger, but it's teriyaki, you gotta have ginger, right? So I'm gonna point you down. I'm gonna cut up this meat real quick, and I'll just show you how I do it. It's gonna be a pretty quick, easy process, I'm hoping. Let me grab an apron too. And I'll leave a link to the recipe, or I'll just type the recipe in down below. I haven't quite taken the time to do the homework on how to make a recipe card online yet. So one of these days I'll take the time to do that. But right now, let's just get started on doing this. So I've got my thighs. I always buy it in bulk when it's on sale. Eventually, my dream is to have where I'm raising my own chicken and raising it humanely and with green grass and all that fun stuff, and then I'll piece it out and do it that way. But for now, I do what I gotta do, and I like it when it's on sale. So on here, I'm gonna try and get off the big chunks of fat, but I'm not gonna sit here and fight with this all day to get all the fat off. See, like, this is just ridiculous, trying to take all this little fat off. So I'm just gonna not fight with it. I do know that when you're canning meat, you want your pieces of meat to be right around 1 inch. I think they have to be under 2 inches. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna make them about close to 1 inch in size. And then I'll take this, and they're thighs. I'm using thighs for this. I've never canned chicken thigh meat. I always can chicken breast meat. So this will be a first time for us to figure out if I even like canned chicken meat or canned chicken thigh. Oops, I'm not putting them in here. That was an oops. Let me show you what I'm putting in them. Okay, so in here, I've made my teriyaki sauce, and I've never canned with soy sauce. I've never really canned with a sauce like this before, so this will be experimental. But I did use clear gel to thicken it because that is an approved thickener. And so I did use a little bit of clear gel in here just to kind of sauce it up a little bit. I'm going to add my chicken meat to here, and then I'll stir it all up and throw it in the jars, which is kind of a little messier than I normally do. But I really want all the meat to be evenly coated in the sauce. So, and it's a little thick, so I don't want to do, it's not like it's just pour it in and can it. I probably could do that. It'd probably mix just fine in the cooking process, but I'm going to do it safe. And I'm gonna go ahead and finish cutting up this meat. I'm just doing a small batch right now because I want to make sure that we're gonna like it before I make a big batch. I have a tendency, I think we have a tendency to really prefer ingredients over, I do like to make soups, and I do like, I do the Ball Canning Book barbecue pork. Oh, that stuff is good. But when I'm doing a new thing, I like to try a small recipe. It's really not fun having a shelf full of canned items that you don't even want to eat. So I'll be back when I get all this canned, or get all this chopped up, and we'll go to the next step together. So I just moved you over to the other side real quick. I'm just gonna stir this up and get all that meat, all that sauce and meat kind of evenly incorporated. It's not hot. The sauce was probably still just a slight bit warm, but it's not hot at all. And I'm not gonna cook it first. I'm gonna go straight from here to here. The thing with not cooking it first is it's gonna get ugly. It's gonna kind of clump together in there. So when you go to eat it, you'll have to kind of separate it a little bit. But again, I've never done thigh meat. I've only done breast meat. And even the breast meat will clump together. Pork will clump together. So now to fill my jars, and I'm probably not even gonna, I'm not adding salt to this. There's already plenty of salt in that soy sauce. And I'm just going to pack, I'm not even gonna firm pack this. I'm going to plop that in. And I'm okay with it having a little more headspace than 1 inch. It's gonna make its own juices, and normally, like when I do breast, I don't put any juice or any liquid in it at all, and it gets plenty of juice. So I have a feeling that this is going to juice, and it'll be fine once it's done. I am gonna debubble it though. To debubble this, I'm just gonna take this. I'm basically just pushing it down and creating pocket, like removing those pockets of air. And I kind of feel like I need to put just a little bit more in there. Maybe just like that, just to. One of my viewers was giving me this really cool tip that you get like you'll get a brand new fingernail polish thing, you know, where you push down on it with a cotton ball and it makes your cotton ball all wet with fingernail polish. Get a clean brand new one of those and put vinegar in there and use that to do your vinegar wipes. That was an amazing idea. I just keep forgetting to go get one. Gonna put it on my shopping list right now. But I'm gonna go ahead and clean these rims off. Make sure there's no grease left on them. I washed my lids. I've got some Kerr wide mouth left. I have tons of wide mouth. I'm gonna get more standard. Oops. I've washed my lids. They're not in boiling hot water. I just washed them. Set it on. Grab my ring. Put it on just to where it stops. Once it stops, it's plenty tight. You don't need to do, we don't want to tighten them hard because that will make your lids buckle. We just want to make it to where it stops. And that should be perfect. So I'm going to go ahead and finish loading all these, and when I get done, I will take you to the next step. Okay, so I got 5 jars of the teriyaki chicken, and I put them in wide mouth because it's easier to clean it. It kind of creates a sticky substance on the edges of the jars, and so I use wide mouth for meat. So today's a really big canning day for me. I've got meat that I've got to do. I got this teriyaki chicken. I've got some chicken breast, and then I need to get caught up on some beans. And since I'm breaking out my canner anyway for this, I'm going to get it all done at once. So I'm going to go ahead and move into packing my chicken breast. And I will show you how I do that. So in these bags, we diced up all the chicken breast that we had, and I had about 40 pounds. Let me point you down. Whenever there's a good sale on chicken breast, I try to stock up because, like, at my grocery store right now, a typical pound of chicken breast cost about $2 and something cents. When I bought these, they were on sale for like $1 something, and I can't remember how much, but it was like awesome. So I grabbed 40 pounds, which is just like 4 or 5 of those value packs that you get. And I'm just going to, one of them is just to do. I'm going to take it out of the bag because the bag is kind of sticky. All right, I took the ginger out of some of the jars that I had I took out the ginger that I had in some of these jars because I didn't need as many. So I'm going to go ahead and raw pack. This is called raw pack this chicken into the jars. And for this chicken, I want to leave about a 1-inch head space, and it's just plain chicken. I'm going to leave a 1-inch head space, so I only want to fill it just to the bottom of this rim, this bottom rim of my jars. And again, I'm going to use wide mouth. You can take the time to try and pack this in a little tighter. You can get a little bit more meat in there, but I just kind of start to get a little lazy when I got this much packing to do. So I'm going to go ahead and add just a little bit more. I'll try and pack a little bit. I don't add any water to this. I will add some salt to this, which normally I put in the bottom of the jar. I'm just not on my game right now. And I'm gonna pack and burp at the same time. So like I'm pushing down while I'm creating those air pocket removals. Just pack and press. You can use gloves. I usually use gloves. For some reason today. Okay, so I'm gonna finish filling these jars, and then I will come back and we'll go to the next step. I almost forgot to put the salt in here. They were out of my Himalayan pink salt and I usually like to keep a few in my food storage, and they were out of the Himalayan pink salt, so I grabbed one of these, and I don't use it really in most of my cooking, so I'm just gonna use it in here. I got a ½ teaspoon, and I'm putting about half of the ½ teaspoon in each one. It doesn't really take a lot of salt, in my oh so humble opinion. And I'm not adding any other flavorings to this because I want it to be versatile. So I'm going to go ahead and take some of my cleaned lids, and I'm going to place them on top. I wiped the rims, I bubbled them, I pressed them, I salted them. I'm not adding any liquid to them. Okay, I'm putting my rings on, and I'm really only just making sure that they are tight enough to stop, just like I said with with every single one of them I ever do. I just make them to where they stop. So put it on, swing it on, and just till it stops. I gotta find 2 more rings. And then we're gonna go outside, and I'm gonna set you up in front of my canner. So in the bottom of my pot, let's see if you can see it. There's about 3 inches of water from the bottom. And all this black stuff, I mean, I just scrubbed this clean this morning, and all this black stuff is just from all the years of canning in here. So in here, you always make sure that you have one of these little things down on the bottom. You can use rings, like the rings that you use on here, and put a layer of rings down there if you don't have that. I've heard of people using towels, but I think that's dangerous. Make sure that if you do use a towel that you have enough water in here for the amount of time that you're going to be canning, and make sure it doesn't go dry. Okay, so I got all my chicken in the bottom row. Ouch. Because the teriyaki chickens has sugar in it. Or it has honey and palm sugar in it. But regardless, those can burn and scorch, and so I'd rather them be a little higher up. And this canner doesn't necessarily have, or this thing isn't super evenly heated. So, just trying to play it safe. Okay, on my canner, on All American canners, they have a little notch right here. Let's see if I can just, I don't know if you can see it. Right here, there's a little notch. And then on the lid, there's a little arrow. So you're gonna put that, and it's not gonna work. Darn it. So instead of 17 or 18, I only got 16 wide mouths. When you have the standards, you can get a few more in there, but. So we're gonna put the arrow with the notch. We're gonna seat it, and the big thing is to make sure that you're pretty even spaced right here with all of them. And it's kind of my mother-in-law's, and I've told you this in other videos, my mother-in-law, she's got a 915. One of these days I'll have it here and I'll show you guys. But it has, you set that lid and it almost seats itself. It's beautiful. It's old. She's been using it for, I don't know, 20, 30, 40 years. I don't know how long. But it's been used, well used and loved. And mine is only probably about 5, 6 years old. And mine is the 921, or the 21 quart. I wasn't quite sure what I was getting, but I was wanting the 915. I have a sister-in-law who has the 941, and that 941 is a beast. It's heavy, it's huge. It'll do 2 rows of quarts, but I didn't really need or want that big of a canner, so I thought I was getting the smaller. I had no idea. I thought I was getting the smaller one, and when I got this at home, I was like, oh my gosh, I got the wrong one, and I wasn't wanting to ship it back. So I used it, and I love this thing. Even though it only, 7 quarts will come up to here, but I can get 2 stacks of pints in here, which is kind of beautiful. Okay, so I've got all these tightened, and when you tighten them, you're cross-tightening them. And some people say go clockwise. I just go whichever one I go to next. And just make sure that you have no space, big gaps on one side that's not on the other side. You'll know for certain when this comes to pressure. If you see steam coming out these edges, you know that you don't have this set properly. Right now we're going to start our heat on about a medium high. Once we start seeing steam coming out of here steadily, we'll vent it for 10 minutes. Once we vent it for 10 minutes, we'll put this on at 15 pounds of pressure, because at my altitude I have to do 15 pounds of pressure. We'll put this on, and then once my gauge comes up to pressure, or this starts to jiggle at 15 pounds of pressure, then I know that I can set my timer. Because I have pints, I'm going to do 1 hour and 15 minutes. If I had quarts, it would be 1.5 hours. So 75 minutes for pints, 90 minutes for quarts, because it's meat. Okay, so I'm gonna step out, and I think I'm just gonna come back once it's done. I've showed you in other videos, like my pork loin video and some of my bean videos, I've showed you what it looks like when you're venting and what it looks like when you're doing all that stuff. So if you'd like to go back to those other videos and check them out, that'll tell you what this looks like. For this one, I'm just going to come back when this is all done. I've got more stuff to pack and get ready to can, so I want to just kind of keep going on that, and I will be back with you here in probably 2 hours or so. And I'll see you then. Okay, so my timer all my pressure was gone, and now I opened it up, pulling them out. There's the plain chicken that I did. Something is coming. And this, oh my gosh, no, this looks, that's the teriyaki chicken. I'm kind of excited about that. This is the final count. We got 5 of the teriyaki chicken and we got 16 canned chicken breast. Okay, so tomorrow I'm gonna open one of these up. I might have to thicken it again, which is fine. And we'll try some over some rice. Maybe we'll do that for lunch and I'll let you know what I think of it. This I know I already love. This stuff, let me clean these. Oh, this one goes in the fridge. This one actually didn't seal. So this one has been in the fridge. So I'm gonna put that one back in the fridge. All the rest of them sealed well. And I always label them. I've got CHX for chicken, the year. And this I have Terry chicken and I don't have the year. Whoops, I gotta catch that. Anyway, and then for the chicken, my favorite thing to do with the canned chicken is chicken salad. One of these days, maybe I'll show you a recipe that I do with the chicken salad. I love to do a curry chicken salad. I love to do just a plain old chicken salad. I don't love grapes in my chicken salad. I know a lot of people do. I'm not a big fan. I actually like pickles in mine. Yeah, so you can use it in soup. My mom likes to make soups with this. You can make burritos, flautas, all kinds of stuff with this stuff. Anything that you would make a pulled chicken for, you can use this for. All right, I'll see you tomorrow when we open up one of these bad boys and take a peek at the flavor. Okay, so I'm opening a jar. It's only been a few days. It hasn't been, look, I still haven't dated it yet. I gotta get that on there. I'm opening a jar of the teriyaki chicken. It smells delicious. I think the juices from the chicken really kind of thinned it a little bit, so I'm wondering if maybe next time I just don't add any thickener to it and I just use the teriyaki sauce. Okay, so I did add just a small amount of thickener to it. I cooked up some brown rice. And I cooked extra because we're going to do a stir fry this weekend. So I'm going to start with some rice. And then this is a spinach dish that we've kind of grown to love. It's a Korean spinach dish. It's basically, you just steam your spinach and then you're supposed to like drain the water really like squeeze the water out. I just don't do it that hard. I put in my little strainer and I just kind of press it against the sides and call it good enough. And then I put a sesame oil and sesame seeds, and then I put a little bit of soy sauce on it, which I don't think is Korean, but I like the flavor of the soy sauce on it. Anyway, so I wanted just to have I just did 2 handfuls, one for my husband, one for me, and I steamed it down. It's become one of my favorite ways to eat spinach, and I know I've got a good handful of spinach in there. It's just cooked instead of raw. And then I'm going to add some of this to it. I love sesame. Sesame oil is probably one of my favorite flavors on the planet. I love sesame noodles, sesame rice, sesame in my eggs. So there is an easy, quick lunch that's shelf stable. The rice is from my pantry. The spinach I always keep on hand or I grow. I haven't grown it this year. It's been kind of a weird year. The chicken we buy in bulk, and then I've never canned chicken thighs, as I said earlier, so this is my first time. I should probably try it for you. So we're gonna give this a try. Just kind of want to try the chicken first. So I just got a little piece of chicken. Very strong in the soy sauce flavor, which I don't mind. The texture of the chicken's actually pretty good. I think with the rice, this is gonna be kind of fabulous. I have a feeling I'll be doing more of this. John?
What?
Why don't you come taste it? We're gonna get my husband's take on it too. Who's much taller than me.
I need a second bite.
He's got the flaring of the nostrils. That's a good sign. What do you think?
Pretty good. Looks like I got lunch.
Okay. There you have it. So I think it's good. My husband likes it. It's something you would be good with taking to work for lunch?
I would.
There we go. So I think I'm going to make more of this. I bought a 40-pound box of chicken thighs. It's still in my freezer that we haven't touched yet. And we were going to can it. And then I was like, I just don't know. I don't know how I'd like canned chicken thigh. And then doing this, I think that whole 40-pound box is going to end up being this. Because let me tell you, one of our favorite foods is Asian food. We love Asian. So I think this is going to be a keeper. We do, and I'll use my own teriyaki recipe. We love Asian food. We like one of our favorite meals when we just are out on the run. We'll stop and get Chinese. We do a lot of Thai food. We do a lot of, I like East Indian food, like the, what is that? Like butter chicken and tikka masala and all those. I don't even know if I'm saying that right, but I love those kind of foods. So really, if it's in that Asian genre or Asian ethnicity, I love their food. So I think it's a keeper. I'm gonna go eat my lunch. Thank you for joining me on this adventure of a fork in the loaf. Give it a try. If you try this recipe, and I'll put my recipe with the teriyaki sauce that I use in the comments below, or in my description below. Let me know what you think of it. And if you like this video, hit the thumbs up, hit subscribe, share with your friends, and thanks for coming along.